You ever stumble across something online that is so weird, so completely nonsensical, you just have to know the story behind it? Well, today we're putting on our detective hats to solve one of those exact mysteries. Let's dive right in.
Okay, so our first piece of evidence. This comes from the auto-generated captions on a YouTube video. It just says, Martini Martini, katakana, Tashi. I mean, right away it feels like, what? A secret password? Or just total gibberish? But trust me, it gets even weirder.
Because that same source also gives us this absolute gem, donut undefinable Luigi. Now we're getting into some seriously surreal territory. I mean, what could possibly connect a donut, the very concept of being undefinable, and a famous video game plumber?
And for our final piece of the puzzle, we have this oddly specific, kind of frantic statement. The babies prefer high-pitched, oh shoot, buddy. It's so confident, so strange, and seems to have nothing to do with anything else.
So, what in the world are we looking at here? Is this some failed attempt at avant-garde poetry? A series of super cryptic messages? Or is it something else entirely? Well, the mystery is set, and in this explainer, we are absolutely going to crack this case. We are officially staring down a true digital enigma. It's a collection of phrases that they completely defy logic and context. So to solve it, we've got to go back to the source. And this is where we get our first big break in the case. After a little bit of digital detective work, the origin of all these bizarre phrases was finally tracked down. And honestly, the answer is way more surprising and, frankly, funnier than you'd probably expect. Because, as it turns out, the solution isn't buried in some deep, dark corner of the internet. Nope. It's been right there, hiding in plain sight, on one of the biggest websites on the planet. And the answer is just wonderfully absurd. All of those bizarre phrases, they're the automatically generated English captions for a video of popular Bengali nursery rhymes. Yes, you heard that right. Donut Undefinable Luigi is an AI's best guess at what a children's song from Bengal sounds like. So this isn't a human error or some elaborate prank. It's a pretty incredible case of a machine getting things spectacularly wrong. We've officially gone from a weird internet mystery to a fascinating story about technology, what it can do, and, more importantly, what it can't do. You see, the technology at the heart of our mystery is called automatic speech recognition, or ASR. You know this stuff. It's the software that powers things like Siri and Alexa and, of course, YouTube's auto captions. Its whole job is to listen to audio and turn it into written words. Which brings us to the big question, right? ASR is usually pretty good these days. So, what happened here? Why did it fail so completely and so hilariously in this one case? Well, it turns out this was basically a perfect storm of challenges for the AI. Think about it. It was trying to make sense of Bengali, a language it probably had very little training in. The audio wasn't just someone talking, it was singing and rhyming, and the voices belonged to children who have different pitches and rhythms. All of this created a situation that the English-focused AI was just not ready for. But the biggest problem, by far, was that fundamental language gap. The AI was basically listening for English sounds and English sentence patterns. So it took the Bengali sounds it was hearing and tried to jam them into the closest sounding English words it knew, no matter how ridiculous the result was. Here's a perfect example. A classic Bengali nursery rhyme starts with the phrase, hatimatim tim. The AI hears that, has no idea what it means, so it rummages through its English database for the closest phonetic match it can find, and it lands on martini martini. It's a total failure of understanding, but it's a pretty amazing look at how this tech tries to find patterns. So what began as just a funny little internet mystery actually opens up a much bigger and way more important conversation about the digital world we all live in. This is more than just a glitch. It's a symptom of something larger. See, the thing is, the digital tools we use every single day, they feel universal, but they aren't. Not really. They are fundamentally shaped by the data they were built on. So if an AI is trained mostly on English language data from American adults, its performance is naturally going to fall apart when you throw something else at it. And that's why this really matters. Donut Undefinable Luigi is hilarious, for sure, but it's also a tiny window into a much larger issue. It shows us that our digital world hasn't been built equally for every language and every culture, revealing these huge blind spots in the very foundation of our technology. Which kind of leaves us with one final pretty important question to think about. If a simple nursery rhyme can get this completely mangled, what other nuances, what other cultures, what other entire languages are being misunderstood or misrepresented or just flat out ignored by the technology we rely on every single day? What else is getting lost in our digital translation?